All right, folks, this is assignment 5. This is a poetry introduction as my students and I are just getting close to ready to start our poetry unit. We're going to start in the next week or so. So just getting ready to transition into it. So the description is students will listen to videos of poems and songs to evaluate rhyme schemes and assess whether any literary devices or sound devices are present. Those would be things like rhythm, rhyme scheme, repetition, onomatopoeia, figurative language like similes and metaphors. The audience is my 7th grade English language arts students. So the objectives, as I said just a moment ago, students are going to watch and listen to short videos that I have selected of poems and songs. During the video, they can take notes. After the video, they can go back and replay and rewatch to add to their notes. But their main objectives are to record the rhyme scheme by labeling it, and I also want them to evaluate any other literary devices or sound devices that are present. After they're done with the assignment, they're going to have the chance to go back and reflect on their performance. They're going to use a checklist to make sure they've met all of the objectives that I've laid out for them. So here we've got a couple of video supports. The first one is a Powtoon that I created, and I'll play it for you here so you can see what it looks like. All right, and secondly, this second clip is a remedial video in case students are struggling with the concepts or just need a quick review.
Hey kids, so just a quick reminder on what you're doing with poetry as you analyze it. We're looking for things like rhythm, rhyme, repetition, all those things we've been talking about. So I'm going to use a short clip from a song that we've analyzed together a little bit, just as a refresher on the things that you should be looking for and working with. So this song is by Eric Church, and it's called Kill a Word. Give me sticks, give me stones, bend my body, break my bones. You stab me right, turn me black. So you may have noticed that there was a rhyme in here, and that's part of a bigger rhyme scheme that you saw in this song. So obviously the words stones and bones rhyme, and so that's something that you would want to label as part of the rhyme scheme. And so obviously being the title of the song, this is something that shows up frequently, but this would be another example of repetition. Okay? Repeating, if I could only kill a word. As you saw in all of the different stanzas in the lyrics, this is an idea that is explored in multiple different ways and described multiple different methods of killing a word. So those are some of the things that you're going to be looking for. In addition to those things, you want to look for figurative language like similes and metaphors, as we talked about. And you also want to be looking for other sound devices in addition to rhyme, things like repetition, things like onomatopoeia. So keep your eyes and ears open. Best of luck.
All right, so as far as meeting objectives for this project, I thought objective 1B Pursuing professional interest by creating and actively participating in local and global learning networks was something that I was working to achieve, as well as number 5B, designing authentic learning activities that align with content area standards and use digital tools and resources to maximize active, deep learning. I think this applies for me, and I think it's also going to translate to my students as well as they're working on this project. In reflection, my baseline I started out with was a lesson that I've taught in class before. I've used it for a number of years already as part of our poetry unit. We typically do that during the month of February, as it kind of revolves around and relates to Valentine's Day. I give kids a chance to write some poems in ways that are fun and engaging. But once I had that kind of baseline lesson to start from, I built on that framework, and I added what I feel like I added was some different activities that added quality, but also added depth and required deeper thinking from my students. Some of the challenges that I encountered, I felt like it was very challenging for me trying this new technology. I definitely had some struggles. It took quite a bit of time and effort to get to the point where I felt like it was even serviceable and worthy of being utilized in the classroom. It took a lot of trial and error. It took me asking quite a few questions. But I definitely felt like I was outside my comfort zone, but because of that, I felt like it stretched me and helped me grow. And ultimately, I hope that it helps me better serve my students in the future. As far as meeting standards with this particular assignment, I felt like 3B, establishing a learning culture that promotes curiosity and critical examination of online resources and fosters digital literacy and media fluency. I think that's the standard that ultimately this project embodies. So that is the end of my project, and that is the end of our poetry unit for 7th grade language arts. Thanks.